Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Chelsea and this video is my July TBR video. So I'm going to go through all the books that I hope to read in the month of July. This is going to be a really fun month. I've got a bunch of books here that I'm really excited to read and talk about, so let's get into them. Okay, I'm definitely in a fantasy romance era right now, so I'm going to start off with those, and the first one I'm super excited for. It's Five Broken Blades by May Cortland. I've been seeing this book everywhere, and this is my most anticipated book for this month. I really hope I like it. It's been compared to Six of Crows, and that's such a beloved book series, so I'm hoping that this lives up to the hype. I'm expecting it to have a bunch of really fun, interesting characters who get together for some sort of magical heist. I didn't realize when I first got it, I saw obviously the sprayed edges, but there's also like pretty end pages in here. And then the hardcover book itself is really pretty. And then I want to read The Mist Thief by L.J. Andrews. This is an adult fantasy romance. It's a sequel to The Ever King and Queen. I believe the series is just called The Ever Seas. But those were books that I read earlier this year and really liked them. And I really liked the world a lot. In this book, we're going to be following the character of Jonas, who was in the other books, and he was really fun. And his love interest was also in the other books, but we didn't get too much from her, so I'm definitely interested to see like more of her backstory. I know this is a marriage of convenience trope, which I can kind of take or leave. I think when it's done well, it can be really fun. I liked the writing a lot in the other books, so I'm really hoping I like this one as well. And this is a new release. I haven't heard too much about it yet, like review-wise, but it's one of my most anticipated books for this month, so I can't wait to dive into this one. Then I want to read Heavenly Bodies by Imani Arui. This is another adult fantasy romance. It's the first of a series. It is a bit chunky for the first book of a series, so I think I've just been kind of putting it on the back burner for most of this year. But I really want to get into this one because I believe the second one is already out, and I would really like to get into this series. I saw it being compared to Blood and Steel, which is a fantasy romance series that I've been reading and I'm actually almost done with. So I'm hoping to start this one this month. It sounds really fun. A prophecy that promises she will fall for a star and it will kill them both. I believe this is kind of like a enemies to lovers, and there's something celestial about like the magic, I think. But either way, I'm really excited to get into another fun fantasy world. And speaking of Blood and Steel, I need to read Shadow and Storms by Helen Schuler this month. This is the fourth and final book in the Legends of Thesmar series. This is an adult fantasy romance series that I'm so glad I got into this year. It's a little different than a lot of the other series that I've been reading, and I can't believe this is the fourth and final book. I don't want it to end. It's been such a good experience, and I just really hope that they all get happy endings. I can't wait just to see how the ending all plays out, and I just hope Thea and Wilder get a happy ending. Okay, this next one was on my TBR last month, but I wasn't able to get to it, and I'm putting it as like a top priority read for this month. It's Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is the second book in an adult fantasy romance series called the Kindred Curse series. I really enjoyed the first book a lot. It was a very slow burn, and I had a little problem with the pacing, but I think I rated it like a 4. I really liked it a lot. It was good setup for this world. I think this series going forward will be really great and interesting and exciting. And I've heard nothing but good things about the second book. And this is another series I just want to spend more time with and get deeper into, because I think going forward, the pacing I've heard gets much better. I liked our main character a lot. Denham is a very interesting character to follow. There's also a romance that's hinted at in the first book, but it's very slow burn. Nothing really that romantic happens in that first book. I've heard nothing but good things about this second book. And even though it's kind of a larger book, and I believe the rest in the series are a bit larger, I really liked this world a lot. And I'm really excited to read this book because I'm anticipating a 5-star read out of this one. And like I said, this is like a priority read for me this month. And then hopefully there's 2 more other books out, I believe, in this series. So hopefully during the rest of the summer, I can get through the rest of the series. Then I want to read Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Now, this has been on my TBR for a while and I've been wanting to read it all year and I've been putting it off. I've heard so many good things about this series. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but when I do, I tend to like it a lot, and this sounds like a really interesting story. So it sounds like an interesting premise, and the story is going to be, a main theme is class, and our main character, we're in a color-coded like society, and he's considered a red, which is like the lowest class you can be in. So they're being worked day and night to do all the hard labor for the other classes. But the red class doesn't realize that they're being taken advantage of this way, and it kind of just sounds like our main character figures that out, and there's a bit of a rebellion that starts up. So I'm very interested. I know this is a big series and a lot of people love this series, so I'm gonna dip my toe into some sci-fi this month, so that's really exciting. All right, and then to switch over to some contemporary romances, I'm planning to pick up this month Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been reading through all of Abby Jimenez's books this year. She's definitely one of my favorite contemporary romance writers. I'm sad this is actually going to be the last one I'll be reading from her because I've read everything now, so I can't wait for her next release, but I'm sure I'll like this one a lot. I've really been enjoying reading all of her books. This one is a romantic comedy following two polar opposites, with an adorable little dog, of course. And I know we've already met the male love interest in this book, Aiden, who was in the last book that I read last month, the Happy Ever After playlist. And I really liked him a lot in that book. I knew he wasn't going to be like the main love interest of that story, but I liked his character a lot. So I'm hoping after reading this, he'll become a new book boyfriend, as all of Abby's main leads do tend to for me. And then last but not least, I'm going to be reading The Final Offer by Lauren Asher. And this is the final book in the Dreamland Billionaire series that I've been reading. And we're going to be following Cal, who is the final brother. And he has been a bit of the comic relief in the other books. So I think it'll be interesting to see more from him and have a book in his POV. So in the beginning of these books, these three siblings, they each got a letter from their grandfather who had passed away, and he was kind of this eccentric billionaire, kind of Walt Disney type. They own like theme parks and they have billions and billions of dollars. And to get their inheritance, their grandfather has left each one of them a task that they need to complete. And for Cal, I'm pretty sure in his letter, it says his task is to go back to Wisteria Lake, where they have a family house there. And that's the same lake that the Love redesigned in those books take place, which is another series by Lauren Asher. And so to get his inheritance, he has to go back there, and his ex-lover essentially now owns this house, and he hasn't seen her in many years, and now he has to see her again. So I'm very interested to see where the story goes from there. But I'm very excited. I've really enjoyed this series thus far, so I'm assuming I will like this third one just as much. I'm really excited to get into this month. Definitely in a big fantasy romance era right now. There's so many series that I'm either in the middle of or just starting or finishing off, and it's just such a fun time reading, and I'm just so excited. I keep adding more and more things to my TBR every day. So I hope that this month will be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like this video, please leave a comment down below of either what you're reading or planning to read for the month of July, or if you have any thoughts on the books that I'm going to be reading. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye!